What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today we're going to be going over 4 different shoulder exercises that you can add to your shoulder day. So stay tuned, don't miss out. First exercise we're going over is the behind the back side raise with the cable. So obviously with this one, we're using a cable machine. So we're trying to create the most tension that we can throughout the exercise, which is always a tension even when you're using dumbbells, but obviously the cable is gonna allow you to do that a little bit better. So the biggest things with the behind the back are your elbow position, your shoulder position, and then your height. So you wanna make sure that you don't have your elbow locked out when you're doing your set, which is kind of for anything. Like, you know, you never want to really have your joints in a locked position. Even when you're bench pressing and you extend all the way out, you never really want to lock your elbow out. Even when you come up for your squat, you're not really locking your joints out. You want to protect those joints and everything. So you just want to have that slight bend in your elbow somewhere kind of in between here and here is a good range. My elbow is normally about right there. Then the other thing you want to watch is your shoulder position. So a lot of times when you get tired, you want to use this part of your shoulder to help you pull the weight up, which is also an indicator that you might be going a little bit too heavy. But you want to make sure that your shoulders relax when you're pulling this weight up and you're using your delt to pull it up. And you're not trying to roll your shoulder up here. You can really injure your shoulder doing something like that, especially if you're going too much, if you're going a little bit too heavy. Third thing is the height. You want to make sure that when you come up, you're going about parallel and you're not going all the way up here. You're not going all the way up here. This exercise is really meant to keep tension and to focus on your delts. So when you go up a little bit higher past your range of motion, it can kind of like cause injury. Sometimes this cable thing won't even reach that far. Like it might stop up there, but you want to make sure you have a full range of motion, but you're going a range of motion that you're not going to injure yourself. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to put this on the lowest setting on here. And like I said, we're going to pick a light weight for us, especially if you've never done this before. Grab the cable. We got this behind our back. Now we're not reaching like this all the way behind our body. We're making sure that our body's in a good stable position, straight up and down. And when we're pulling, we're going about right here. Not all the way back here, but just about right here. That's gonna keep the stack from touching, but it's also gonna protect our shoulder from not bending too far. So we're gonna come up, like I said, about parallel, our elbows slightly bent, my shoulders relaxed, and I'm pulling from my delt muscle. Right back, and then we're keeping a good tempo. I always like to count about 3 seconds to the bottom, 3 seconds back up to the top, and then give like a 1 second pause just so that I know that I'm controlling the weight and it's not going anywhere. So that's the behind the back curl with the cable. If you're an advanced lifter and you want to add something else to this, you can definitely get a pair of 10s, 15s, and in between your set of superset, you can go behind the back with the dumbbells and go a good tempo. But if you're a beginner, intermediate, this one is good to just add as a first exercise. Let's jump to the second. So we're gonna go, we're just gonna stay right here. Sometimes I like to do this as a superset if I'm not using the dumbbells, as a superset if I'm switching it up. But second exercise is front raise with the cable. So, I mean, we're gonna kind of use the same indicators that we did with the side raise, except we're just pulling from a different position. So obviously side raise, we're pulling from here. Front raise, we're pulling from here. So same exact thing with the side raise. I want to watch my shoulder position and make sure I'm not rolling it up like this, and I'm pulling from my delt up like this. I got a straight up and down stable body. And then we also want to make sure that your height is good. So you want to make sure that you're not going all the way up here, that you're just stopping right here parallel, keeping attention on the front delt. So same thing as the side raise. You know, you make sure that you have a good weight, it's not too heavy for you. We're gonna start at the bottom position. You wanna make sure that you're taking a step to the side. If you're over here, you're gonna be pulling kind of awkwardly. So you wanna make sure that you step to the side. I got this right next to me. I'm pulling here. I got my same tempo on count 3 seconds going down, going up, and I got a 1 second pause here. And I'm coming back down. Tension's on my delt the entire way through. And I'm also not doing, you know, the same things that we talked about with the curl in one of my last videos, and that's swinging and using our momentum to bring this thing up. So it's really easy. If I get tired, I can either bring my shoulder up or I can start swinging my body like this. You want to avoid both of those. We're just keeping the tension right here on our delt. So keep those things in mind. Let's go on to the third exercise. All right, third exercise, we're gonna keep it with the cables. We're gonna work on our rear delt. So we did a side raise, which was primarily working our mid front delt. Then we did our front raise, which is obviously primarily working our front delt. Now we're gonna go to this exercise, which is primarily gonna work our rear delt. Same things we were using with the side and the front raise with our elbow position. We don't wanna have it straight locked out like this. We wanna have that slight bend in our elbow. And we also want to make sure that we are pulling at a good distance. So with this, we need to make sure that we have the cables at a good position to where we cross our arms here. That way our shoulders are in the same position that they started at and they don't roll this way, but we go straight down. So again, these aren't exercises where we're picking the heaviest weight or trying to go to the heaviest that we can. We're picking a light to moderate weight so we can keep the tension on our shoulders the entire way through. So we're gonna cross our hands, cross our arms. We're starting up top right here, about face level, and we're pulling apart, and we're keeping that focus on the rear delt. We're keeping a good tempo. My elbow position is not changing. The only thing that's changing about my shoulder is that it's assisting the weight moving back towards my body, and my arms are staying at a parallel height the entire time. My shoulders are not moving up and down. My elbows are not rolling as I'm pulling through. I'm sorry, my shoulders are not rolling as I'm pulling through, and my elbows are not locked out. I got the same position the whole way through, keeping that same tempo, counting 3 seconds going in, 3 seconds going out, and 1 second pause at the top of the position. So your elbow position on this exercise is a lot more important than the front raise and the side raise. And the only reason for that is because if I take this cable here and I allow my elbow to control the weight more than my shoulder, this is gonna turn into a tricep exercise. If I put this right here and I bend forward, this is now turning into a tricep. So if I start bending my elbow here, I'm literally a couple degrees away from doing a cross-body tricep extension. So you wanna make sure that when you're crossing, your elbow position doesn't change and you're pulling from your rear delt. It's very, very important that you do not move your elbows and you focus on keeping your elbows in the same position. That's also another reason why you need to use light weight so that you're not overcompensating in other areas of your body to get through your set. All right, fourth and final exercise that we're gonna go over today is the dumbbell shoulder press. A couple things with the shoulder press and make sure that you're maximizing the exercise. First of all, it's a seat position. So if I have this seat here, this is gonna put the emphasis on mostly my entire shoulder. So I'm pushing from all three heads here to here. If I push this back one level, what that's gonna do, it may be a little bit easier on my lower back, but what I'm also now doing is I'm putting a lot more tension on my front delt. So keep in mind what you're aiming for and what your goal is with this exercise when you're adding it into your routine. Do you want to try and hit your entire shoulder? Are you trying to put more emphasis on your front delt? You know, sometimes I even do, or you can do a set with the seat back and a set with the seat up. So it depends on what you're going for and make sure you're picking the right seat position based off your goals. So for here to show you guys, I'm just gonna go straight up and down. Next thing we want to watch is our feet position. So we want to make sure that our feet aren't extended out all the way over here, but we have them right underneath our body here. So when I'm pressing up, I'm more inclined to keep my body straight up and down and back against the seat when I'm pressing, rather than having my feet outwards and starting to slope down in the seat, which is not only putting our lower back at risk, it's also taking the tension off where our shoulders. So my chest is all the way up here and I'm sloped down in the seat. This is almost the same position as an incline bench press. So now I'm starting to use my chest as I get lower and as my chest starts helping my shoulders out more. So you want to make sure that your feet are right underneath your body. So when you're hitting your set, you can maintain this good position, good tempo. And maximize the set. That is it for shoulders, guys. Remember, these videos are really short so that it's a lot of information compact just with a couple exercises just for you to add into your split. So if you're looking for different exercises on the different body parts, we only covered a couple cable and one dumbbell. It's a lot more exercises you can cover with shoulders. Same thing with my bicep videos, tricep videos. So if you're looking for a specific exercise that you would like for me to go over, don't be afraid to drop that in the comments. Make sure you should hit that subscribe and notification button so you can be up to date on any of the further videos that I do. Appreciate you for tuning in.